This is our second video on finding the LCM. We're going to use the prime factorization technique this time. These problems will be similar to those in 3.2, number 11, and number 13. I'm going to start off with 35 and 21, and we're going to find the prime factorization. I'm going to use factor trees to do so. Notice that they have a common factor of 7, so I can't just simply multiply them together to get the LCM. So what I'm going to do to find the LCM is I'm going to recognize that the factors that are present between both of them are some amount of 3s, 5s, and 7s. Those are the only factors that I see. I'm going to be greedy and I'm going to make a choice from one or the other and take the most of the factors that I can take, the one that has the higher exponent when it's written in exponential form. So for instance, I'm going to choose to take my 3s out of my 21 because I see 1 3 there, and there are 0 3s over here in 35. I'm going to take my 5s from 35 because I have 1 5 there, and I have 0 5s over in 21. It does not matter where I choose to take my 7 from. Both of them have 1 7. So now I'm going to multiply 3 times 5 times 7. Let's just make this 5 times 21. I can multiply the 3 and the 7 first, and that's going to be 105 for my LCM. So that 105 comes from 35 times 3 is 105, and 21 times 5 is 105, just if you want to double check, and that is the first multiple of 35 that is also a multiple of 21. Now let's look at the next problem, 27 and 54. 27 goes into 54 evenly. 54 is 2 times 27. So 54 is my LCM because 27 goes into 54 2 times. So 27 times 2 is 54, and 54 times 1 is 54. So 54 is the LCM. That happens sometimes that the bigger number is the LCM if the smaller number goes into the bigger number evenly. So watch out for that. I'm also just going to take a second here and talk about some vocabulary that's coming up. We're going to have something related to the LCM called the LCD. So an LCM is a least common multiple, and an LCD, which is a very similar concept. We use the same process to find the LCD as to find the LCM. It's just an application of this idea, is the least common denominator. Okay, so don't get confused by that when I start talking about the LCD. When we are looking to find a common denominator and I'm using this LCM method to make a common multiple, they're related ideas. So it's the least common denominator or least common divisor you'll hear sometimes. That D will be either denominator or divisor. LCM, least common multiple, that's why it's an M. Okay, so we'll come back and start talking about adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. in just a little bit, but our next video is actually going to be to write equivalent fractions, because that's one of our steps. We're going to have to write an equivalent fraction that has the least common denominator. So we'll come back and talk about writing equivalent fractions in our next video to get us ready for that addition and subtraction of fractions with unlike denominators. All right, see you for the next video.